Hello, this is J.N.S, and I just want to talk about the situation, that Kanye West is dealing with. He just put out a video. I just wanted to make sure my feedback was good. Um, he just put out a little clip talking about, these venues, and he is pretty much. Let me give you the context. So, the United Center is the only arena that is letting him perform, and willing to work with him, and that's been in the last year. And so he's been having trouble getting other venues to book him, And so he's saying he has not been allowed to perform in a year, and so he says it feels like the Elvis Presley movie. And to me, I'm like, when I saw that, I was just like, dang. And so um one of the Black American Indians, I wish she calls it more American, and she had posted this, and I had saw it, and I said, "Oh, that's interesting." So she says, "There's only one arena in the U.S. that is allowing him to perform, despite the fact that he's selling out the entire arena in less than 10 minutes of the release of the ticket sale." So he said it's within 7 minutes. The United Center arena was sold out. Mind you, that their seating capacity is 23,000. So we know at least 23,000 niggas want to go and see him perform. We know at least, because that is the capacity of the United Center Arena. And United Center is in Chicago, so Chicago's looking out for they own, and so big ups to the United Center for doing that. Um, and so it's been interesting because he just made his Indian statement. So a lot of the Black American Indians, they are feeling like, okay, he's getting more smoke from him, talking about when that rant went viral. He gave a lot of gems. He spoke in a lot of codes for those of us that's in the know. And so when he was talking about the Black Americans being indigenous, a lot of Black Americans feel that that is the reason why he's under fire. Obviously, there's much more bigger picture here from when when he says what he says against a certain group of people regarding the contracts uh, in the music industry, how unfair how he was treated, how unfair they did him, and so he spoke out about that. And then it turned into, unfortunately, you know, it went a little left when he mentioned the stuff about the Hitler stuff, and so obviously this gives them the ammunition to feel like they can blacklist him, I guess, on a permanent basis. Meanwhile, there are at least 23,000 niggas that want to go see him, and that means Black, white, Asian, Latino, all races want to go and see him. That's why the United Center Arena sold out in less than 7 minutes when they find out that he's going to be performing. And so, why is this the only arena that he can perform at? Ask yourself that. Where are the other venues? And, you know, they're blacklisting him. They have, effectively. That's why he's been having issues with the distribution of the music. The CD has been, the album rather, has been pushed back a couple of times. I think it's going to get released on February 9th. And so let's hope that that happens. And, let's hope they work the distribution out. I believe Ty Dolla $ign was trying to help them find some ways to distribute it. With me, I know that I spoke on this about the distribution. I know, for one, I don't have experience in the music industry, not to the extent that Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign does. So, I might have spoke a little flippant on when I was saying, like, what was the issue with trying to get a private server, get a domain, and host yay.com or whatever, and put the streaming and just have the album just available through yay.com and distribute it that way. I didn't understand why we couldn't just do that, or find some of the up and coming streaming companies that would distribute the album. That, maybe it would be of a Spotify or an Apple. So, and I don't know the politics behind all of that in the music industry, and I don't want to know necessarily. I mean, I'm interested though in how the distribution stuff works. If you're going independent, because he's independent, and I think, honestly, I like that he's independent, but at the same time, this is one of the most, if not at least 21st century. Obviously, you got your Michael Jacksons and your Princes and whatnot, and Beyonces, but Kanye West is one of the most influential artists, hands down, at least top five in 21st century. And so, when he's looking for these venues, he's going to need, venue that's capacity, in 15 to 20,000. 10,000. But I'm thinking like, how does this stuff work? Like, okay, where's these venues? Where's the smaller venues? Where's the black owned venues? Okay, where, and even if it's not black owned, but like, where's the venues that you know are going to open up their doors to Kanye West? It's interesting because for me, I feel like it should have been other venues available. It should, if you're able to sell out a 23,000 arena in less than 7 minutes of your ticket sales, that tells me that there are people that still that there's demand. That there is demand. There's demand for Kanye West and his music. And I was saying to myself earlier, I was like, even if he just sung through the wire, like it really just honestly, he can find a way to perform for the rest of his life just based off of one song. Like even if he just said, okay, you know what, I'm putting all the other songs to rest and I'm just gonna perform through the wire for the rest of my life. And he went all over the world. People will go and buy that shit. People will go and sign up to go see him perform that. They would just through the wire. That's just one song alone. Let alone the whole catalog, the whole body of work. Let alone the other albums. But that is how influential he is. You hate it, love it, like it, not like it, whatever. It's just a fact. It's an objective fact. It's an objective fact because you can quantify it because you have the fact that it's been less than 7 minutes. He can sell out a 23,000 capacity arena still in America, mind you, just in America. And so there, and that's just I presume he would be performing probably the newer music, various songs, probably Vulture, some of the music off of Vulture. Who knows? But people want to go and see him, and so these arenas they trying to take back. I guess blacklist him and whatnot. It's bullshit. It's too late for one. It's not that deep. It's never been that deep, and so either way, it's gonna get done. Either way, people will find a way to see Kanye West perform. And I was thinking like, what about a festival, Kanye? What about throwing the Yay Festival where you have some of you perform, obviously you do your performance, but you also have maybe some of your riders like Ty Dolla and some of the other ones perform as well, some of the other artists that you may still have some connections with, or if even if you don't need the other artists, maybe you don't need the other artists, maybe it's just you. But like I'm thinking like it needs to be like, is the festival cheaper than trying to book an arena, or is it easier to go the festival route where you just get a nice big ass uh you know you rent somewhere where there's some land, park or something. I'm just throwing stuff out there, but like, and then you have obviously you have to think of security, the sound systems, the staging, and is it more expensive to go the festival route than to just have to book an arena, because the arena will presumably have all those things as well as the insurance and the sound system. They'll probably be responsible for that, I would assume. But is it cost effective to throw the Yay Festival or a Kanye West Festival outside in a couple places in the US or somewhere, and do it that way? Is it a way to make it cost effective where it's actually cheaper than doing the arena? And if not, then you could scratch that idea. But to me, I'm thinking if they don't want to book the venues, in the United Center is the only one in the last year that's allowing you to book. What about throwing up these revival, like I used to do, like the church tent revival, doing it that way. Because then you could do, how you had the kind of Church of Kanye, you do the tent revival and you perform it that way. And they try to say, no, you can't do that. You can get them on religious basis for violation of religious rights. Okay. You might be able to swing it that way. I'm just throwing out ideas. Some type of tent revival where you can have that capacity. It may not be a 23,000 capacity, obviously, but just to get you performing. And if that's not cost effective, though, if it's like, okay, that's going to break the budget, you gotta but if someone is on your team that has experience with that, maybe perhaps they've already looked into it, Maybe they did it, but you know, what about that type of festival vibe? Kanye, but it's that obviously you have to be in more in the summer. And then also, what's wrong with a smaller venue? Is it, are you going just for the big venues, the big Madison Square Garden, 23,000, 50,000, you know, that type of thing? Is it only that's your interest? Maybe scale down, even though your star power is bigger than that. Perhaps there are smaller venues that are they got their shit together though. They do good business. Perhaps smaller for now. Um, you know, I'm just throwing it out there because I do find it very strange that the United Center is the only arena available to him within the last year to perform. You know, and so he's asking for help to get other venues, and so other venues should. I think other venues should step up, but given the gravity of what has happened over the last year with Kanye West, you know, and even though he apologized, you know, how them people, they want him to toe the line. They want him groveling on the knee, you know, and they want control. They want that control back. So if he's independent, it's like, okay, now you found a way to get out your contract. You know, you said all these obnoxious things so you can get out your contract or whatnot, but then you want that system's backing. And I get it because I'm dealing with a similar situation too. It's not obviously to your degree, and certainly I don't have that influence, but like I know what it's like to just be like, no, I want complete independence and I want my freedom and I don't want to be beholden. And then you still, you know, obviously in the matrix, you're still um in their system, so to speak. And so they just throw the hammer down. Like, oh, you can't do it, you can't do it, you can't do it. And, you know, you don't necessarily want to manifest that, right? You know, and so you may not even want to admit that that could be what could be happening and whatnot. And so, but for me, it's always more than one way to skin a motherfucking cat. Okay, it's always reconfigurations out of reconfigurations of this bitch. You got to rewrite the algorithm. You got to program this video game now. You got to program the video game. A lot of times we like other people play the video game for us, or you know, we agree to certain things unknowingly. And so now is you have to program your video game, or you allow God to program your video game, however you want to look at it. But um it's kind of like, okay, you figure it out. That's what they telling you. You figure it out. You didn't want to play ball with us. Now you want our venues and whatnot. That's how they look at it. I'm not saying it's fair because I don't think it's fair. I think if there's demand, the market determines the product. The market determines what they want to see, how they want to see it. And I don't feel like it's right for people to try to block other people's star power and starlight and message and their gifts. And so I personally take it. I take offense to what they're doing at Kanye. I do. I take offense because I deal with it personally on a level as well. Many of us do. We know what it's like to be shadow banned. Many of us know what it's like to be blacklisted or to deal with certain things. You know, at one point or time in our lives. So imagine, you know, what kind of, and a lot of people say, oh, well, he caused it on himself. He did it. He needs to take accountability, whatever, however you look at it. But I know that one of you niggas, well, how long was y'all gonna wait to speak up about that wickedness in that music industry? How long was y'all really gonna wait? Y'all was just gonna stay slaves? So somebody had to fucking do it. Somebody had to do it. And so if it was Kanye, it was Kanye. And if he took the consequences for that, or he took the hits, um, you know, he's taking the hits. But I still feel like these other venues should step up, whether they're the smaller ones. My thing is, what is Kanye's expectations and where is Kanye's mind at? Is he being, you know, does he just only want these 20,000, 50,000 blowout arenas, you know, the Live Nation type thing, you know, that type of thing? Or can he, you know, I find it really motherfucking hard to believe that some place in Atlanta or some smaller venues are not willing to talk with him. And so that me, I'm like, well, are you still trying to go for that moment? That you already solidified that. You have nothing to prove, Kanye. Like, I wish somebody would tell him that. Like, you don't have anything to prove. You've sold millions of records. You've sold out arenas. You've sold out tours. You sold many clothes and many sell out the shoes and all that stuff. You sell out the albums or whatnot. To me, I don't see where he has to prove anything. I just don't. And so I don't see what's wrong if knowing what we all know what happened to him. We all know he's been blacklisted. We all know it. So if he has to go to a smaller venue that may only can house maybe 1,000 motherfuckers, maybe 4,000, 5,000, I don't see the problem with that. Why does it have to be these 20,000 arenas where you got to deal with them people? Why can't it be some smaller black owned or Jew owned or whatever owned, but some that want to work with you though, that want to do fair business, good business, treat you right, make sure everything is good, sound is good, at least let you do some rehearsals and to make sure and you go from there, and you charge a nice fee. They got a website. They got it. Everything just good business. I'm not saying go to no mom and pop bullshit where they just dicking you around. They don't know what the hell they doing. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like why it got and so help me understand. I just wish that I understood more of where his head was at and the team around him as far as what exactly they trying to get at. I understand venues, but like no small ass venue, no 1,000 capacity venue, 2,000 capacity venue wants to deal with Kanye. Like I got to find that hard to believe. It's plenty of venues in America, thousands of them. So I'm like, where are they at? Or you just going for like these 20,000, 30, So maybe curtail a bit and don't feel like, and I don't know if it's an ego thing and like he said, within 7 minutes, 23,000 people, the tour was sold out. I mean, the seats were sold out. And so, you know, the demand is there. So I get where his point is like, it's just overall, it's just a situation I wouldn't wish on nobody. As far as you say the truth, or you say something that you speak your truth rather. You speak your truth, and then obviously you may be very very angry. You say some things that are not so cool that are not so smart to say, particularly this stuff about Hitler, and then now you have to pay for those consequences. And even after the apology. And so, what I'm hoping is that other venues step up. I do think that he should probably try smaller venues that are open to him, or even look into the idea of the festival. Is it cost effective to do big ass tent revival festival with good sound and ticket sales? Like how does that work out? Is there anybody that it's just me thinking, because I'm like, yeah, when you go independent, it's a lot, especially with him, because he's always had that big machine backing, and that big machine backing is no longer there. And there's many people that are happy about that. There are many people that are like, haha. For me, it's not a haha at all. um it's just like, damn, at what point can you become a billionaire or reach that level of influence and then not say or speak out about things, and then it's like, when do you make that pivot to independence? um Once you do want to say what you want to say, you have you have to have all that kind of pre-planned out, is what I'm saying. You can't just say that and a whim out of an emotional moment and not have nothing planned out when they're about to take their whole system away from you, when they're about to take the whole machine away from you. That's how that works. That's just how it works. And so I wish him the best on that. Um, yeah, I think that's just what I wanted to cover that. But also, I wanted to talk about the Northwest video. It's called Talking. I think this was released today. I think it was. Yes, yeah. This was on Donda Times, and I just honestly, here's my opinion on this little girl. She has so much light and charisma. It just oozes. It's so natural. She has natural star power, natural light, and it's deeper than just being a celebrity star. Way deeper than that. This is spiritual. And so this little girl, I watched the video. I had liked the song. The beat is dope. I don't know who produced that beat. That beat is dope. It's probably Kanye or Ty Dolla $ign. I don't know. That beat is banging. And I'm watching the video and I think it's such a beautiful video because it is simple. She just getting her hair braided, black child just getting her hair braided and with her father, hanging, and they got some images with her and the father. Um, I particularly like this scene. I- You know, I just, I'm gonna be vulnerable with you, to be real honest. I'm not an emotional person publicly, or even in general. I'm an Aquarius. You know, I'm very empathic. Though I can feel energy. I can feel things very strongly, very telepathically and clairvoyantly, rather. And so I ain't gonna hold you. I was crying when I saw this video, when I was listening to it. As I was listening to it and watching it, I just started crying. I'm like, are you serious? Like, what the hell? I'm trying to process like what exactly am I feeling and what was that about? So I had to, just take a moment and really just, I had told y'all there are certain people in this world where, for whatever reason, still trying to figure it out. I have natural clairvoyance gift. Yes. A lot of times I have to, still have to go through a process of channeling the energy to even know certain things. But with certain individuals, that's not the case. Certain individuals is like, for whatever reason, I can see without even trying. Even if I try to ignore it or try to, you know, um, block it, I just can't. And Kanye West has always been one of them people. He's just been one of them. It's not everybody. It's not everybody where it's like the portal, whatever it is, it's like a portal that opens and I can just see literally into their DNA. I can see their past lives. I can see energy surrounding them, how they feel, what they're going through, what they thinking. Um, is I don't know what that's about. Still trying to figure it out. It's not that many people I can do that with. Um, Thankfully, because then that would just be like, oh gosh, I would really be all over the place emotionally or energetically, rather energetically. If it was like that with every single human. So I thank God that it's not that way. But with Kanye West is one of them people. He just is. And so when I saw this with him and his daughter, I'm like, oh gosh, here it go. I'm looking at things, and then the little girl, his daughter, whatever it is with him, it don't trickle down to the daughter because Kanye West is a part of my lineage. We from the same tribe. And so I'm just looking like, oh gosh, I'm seeing all these things in the life, past lives and spirit and all. And I'm just like, oh, God. So I said, okay. So I had to chill. And I just think this baby girl is so charismatic. She has brilliant light on her, brilliant light, and brilliant gifts, And so my message, you know, to Kanye, and he already knows this. We have to protect this girl, from the bowels of Satan's world. Um, is how I would say that, because this girl got a lot of light, and she's powerful. She's a very very powerful little girl. She's gonna grow up to be a very 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 powerful woman, and just the charisma is amazing. And so I understand why he as a father wanting to know where his kids was at when they was trying to play and make it seem like he just being dramatic, wanting to know where about his kid's birthday and all that stuff. I get why he's like that, and I don't think he should be shamed for that. And I think even in fact, as a father, he should be more diligent. And given the gravity of the situation and that industry itself, and what bloodlines and the things that just her bloodline alone being as powerful as it is, yeah, he should be continue to be diligent like that and vigilant, absolutely. And so, and I do find it a shame that when he was calling around and asking these other people about his kids, that nobody was willing to help. And that just, I felt that pain. I could feel that. I hate being able to feel other people's energy like that. And again, thank God it's not everybody. It's just him. I felt that in that moment, that panic, and I was just like, damn, that ain't cool. And so, she loves her father, and you could feel that. And so, um, something about the video, something about the song that just got to me. It just got to, and again, it's deeper because it does go into the bloodline. It does go into actual DNA of who we are as beings cosmically, as spiritual beings. And so Kanye West is obviously a Black American, comes from our lineage, but more importantly, it has some Sephardic, indigenous Moorish blood. A lot of us, we know each other, we can recognize each other very quickly. um and he admits, he's indigenous, but he's also admitted to being Sephardic as well. And so when you can feel your own people, like you can feel like not every Black American I feel that way about in my tribe. We all may have same lineage, and obviously we might have all been here since, for hundreds and hundreds of years in America, whatnot, but we are not the same either. We all, you know your people. You immediately able to know. It's through, it's, to be honest, it's ancestral, it's spiritual. And so you'll have a connection with somebody as far as with Black Americans, it's like what they say, about 40 to 48 million of us, give or take. Some room for margin there. But within that 40 million, we all have different markers, genetic markers. We all have different genealogies and whatnot, right? And so not every Black American we're going to gravitate to. You know, there are some that you just know, like, nah, they got a jealous spirit on them, or they got that spirit that don't resonate with my energy. Like, nah, we ain't the same people. Like, you could feel it. Then, but you know that you still share that camaraderie, you still share that lineage, and that's why, believe it or not, that's why we have all these splinter groups we have today, or splinter lineage that we have today in 2024. You got niggas calling themselves freedmans. You got niggas calling themselves FBA. You got people calling themselves ADOS. You got niggas calling themselves, what is it? American Indian, Black Indigenous. What's the other one? Sulan. I'm like, what the hell? They got a group calling themselves Sulan now in Black America. Black Americans. They calling themselves Sulan. They call one group is now calling themselves ADOS. Did I say ADOS already? One group is calling themselves, what's the other one? Negro. A whole legion of Negroes, literally, like they're fighting for Black Americans to be renamed Negro. And so you got the Negro, ADOS, FBA, Freedmans, Sulan, ADOS. What's the other one? American Indian, Black Indigenous. It's a lot, and it's because it's the DNA speaking. We are not all the same. Them Freedmans, them, so they got a lot of the Moorish, Black European blood, but not the Moors, not the Sephardic Moor. They're not Sephardic Moors, and you could feel that on them. They have Moorish bloodline. They may even have some indigenous in them, but they are Irish. These are the Black Europeans that really would sell you out. Not all of them. I'm not saying about all the freedom. I'm talking about their leaders. They're the ones that's calling the shots of the freemen. That's very obvious. They have they're not Sephardic Moors. They are a different type of Moor. They're still Black American though. They still are. We still share lineage. Then you got the ADOS peoples. When you study them, you study a lot of the ADOS. And again, I study this stuff from a sociological perspective. So you study them and you're like, okay, these people, they have, and I'm going to go, we about to get controversial, but they have a lot of the British energy on them. Again, this is cellular. We're talking about cellular molecular action. And so now we're talking about the actual DNA. Yes, these are Black. I get we all Black Americans. I get we all have some African DNA and Indian, whatever. I'm just talking about how, like, certain silos of consciousness and certain, the way we group off actually into splinters, that is based on cellular molecular action as well. It's deep, it's spiritual, whether you want to admit it or not. It's just politics, we just a group, we need a lineage. You can say that shit all you want. You can say all that you want. I'm looking at it in a very deep level, very multi-dimensional and very multifaceted. And when I see them ADOS peoples, And I spoke with him for years, daily. We used to, I'm talking about hours on end, talk with ADOS people on Clubhouse. Not necessarily like the founders of ADOS, just the people who called themselves ADOS. So these were just regular grassroots Black Americans who went by the term ADOS. And I used to just study them and listen and just watch. And I'm like, they're Black American, mind you. And they'll admit that. Some of them will admit, I got some Indian, I got, whatever. But they have a lot of, and they'll never tell you this. They will in private, though. But I said they got a lot of British energy on them. Britain. They got a lot of, the European comes out. out of the ADOS. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing. I'm so beyond all of that, the judgment of it. I find it intriguing and fascinating, though, because with the Freemans, you get a lot of that Black European more energy. And they get along. They used to, they used to be ADOS, obviously, you know. But then you have like, the Black Indigenous. They're very hot headed. They call themselves they got a lot of fire energy. What are the American Indian, wild Indian? That's what they call themselves. You see how they constantly in a battle with the Freemans, constantly in a battle with the Black European, the Irish, and that British energy, and constantly fighting against it because even though we may even be all mixed up, it's still some bad blood. It's bad blood. And then you'll have this amalgamation type energy with some of the Black Americans because they know that they are at mixture in their genealogy. That may not be everybody, but then there are some that recognizes that, and for them, they don't feel quite comfortable just saying they're completely American Indian, and they don't feel quite comfortable saying they're completely Moor or completely Hebrew, so they just call their asses FBA, whatever. They are more amalgamated, and so they kind of add mixed group. They're not mixed, but they're just an add mixed group, and so that's kind of this energy that I see on the FBA, but more indigenous. I have to say, more indigenous. They do have this thing with with this hang up with African DNA. I don't get what that's about, but with that group, I just see them more acknowledging amalgamation more than anything. Again, I have no judgment on any of that. And then you have the Sulan and the Negroes. They talk about Negro land, and then you have some Sephardic. For me, I'm like, I don't know where we fit in with any of that shit because I recognize my own personal admixture, and I recognize I know why we did what we did in terms of the growing pains of concretizing identity. So I recognize the value of that, right? I'm not saying I recognize the validity of the methodology of how we go to come up with the names or whatnot. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I see the value of why Black Americans will splinter off into their groups. But for some of us, it's kind of like that got a lot of Sephardic, more indigenous blood. We really don't fit in with any of them. The most we would fit in is with the Black indigenous, but then like the Black indigenous, they pick up on our Moor side. They pick up on our quote unquote Black European side, and they really are venomous and resentful towards that. And so they really don't like that about us. And the on the other hand, the Black European, Black Americans, they appreciate that side of us because, like, damn, you can really get things done. You're really intelligent. You really, 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 really help us, But they know that once that Sephardic and that Black with the Sephardic and the indigenous energy, that is going to overwhelm it. It's going to overpower the Moor sometimes, as far as within our personal DNAs, and it's going to be hard to control us because we're too wild, we're too unpredictable, and we're like, then the Hebrew stuff, we're gonna feel this bit of this royal, and then the more, it's just gonna come out, and it is you can turn people off, and so it's like I'm like we need to start our own little shit for those of us of this so far, because we're not Hebrew, we don't really get along really with the Hebrew Israelites, like even though like we respect them, like I respect Hebrew Israelites, but we, you know, we on a whole nother wavelength because we believe in our pre-Adamic civilizations. The Hebrew bloodline is not an earthbound bloodline, right? And a lot of people don't know that or respect that or accept that, and so we wouldn't gravitate towards Hebrew Israelites either, even though we have we share the same bloodline, and so it's like, what are we gonna do? Like we're Black Americans. That's why I said I just call it Black American, call it a day, but at the end of the day, um, you don't even get along with every Black American. You won't see eye to eye. But back to my point with Kanye West, at least I know that that's somebody I know. Like, okay, like he's from, like he's from my personal genetic marker. Obviously we share no relation, but I'm just talking about the the Sephardic, more indigenous energy. I'm like, okay, I get that from him. That's probably why I could see so easily into his life as a clairvoyant, like with no divination tool or opening of channel or channeling. It's just like I can just look at him and just see, boom. And so, um, when I was watching the video, it just made me emotional because I was like, here we go again with me being able to see. And so this baby girl, she's a chosen one. That's very obvious to me. She has a lot of light on her, his northwest, and we just. I think that he, as a father, he's right to be very diligent in her life, and to continue to protect her and to continue to. And one of the lyrics, I actually want to talk about some of the lyrics. I want to talk about some of the lyrics. Let's see. I think I have to pull up because Ty Dollar, he did a couple of, he did some, I won't say rapping, but like they were kind of like auto tune. I thought it was Kanye West at first, but it wasn't. So I'll share this and I'll read this. So he says, just make sure. How much to stop my daughter from growing? I just can't take it now because she's just doing all the shit I did when I was her age. I don't know how I'm going to tell her, but her dad's just afraid of her choices. Know that I've been through it. I just hope I haven't been the wrong influence. Put her on game before the world put her through it. That's why I got to break the curses that were set for me. This is hard working. This ain't destiny. My motivation is just looking at my family tree. I'm trying to make sure I contribute for the legacy. And so that's an amazing lyric for, from a father to a daughter. And so that's why I like the song so much. I just think it's a dope song, and I think her energy is so powerful on the song even as a little kid. And she just, it starts off with, she says, "It's your bestie, Miss Westie. Don't try to test me. It's gonna get messy. Just bless me. Just bless me." And she is blessed. And her voice is so cute. Just bless me. And I just was like, oh, that is so. It's such a cute song. It really is. It's a deep song. And so you could just feel that moment of a father daughter trying to make music together. And so I think the video was cute. I wish it was a little lighter, but the getting the hair braided, and just the moment of Kanye just reflexively, stoically rather, um, in the video, and then what I presume to be Ty Dollar Signs and possibly his daughter also, in the video as well. It's just very simple. It was very, very simple. It wasn't, all elaborate, but I loved it. I was like, this is dope. It's gonna get mad. Oops, I don't mean to play because I don't know how. I don't. But they. I thought it was. I thought this was so cute. She has such a powerful, powerful anointing on her life, and she has to be protected. She has to be. He has to protect her. She has to be protected because she does have a very, very powerful anointing on her life. That's what I can see as a prophet and as a clairvoyant. Very charismatic kid with a lot of light. And so don't feed her, don't feed her to that machine. Because they love to suck that light. They love to harness that energy of the chosen ones. And so she's a chosen one. And so I'm excited to see what's in store, you know, because I really really like this song. I'm like, this is such a dope song. But I think I said what I wanted to say. I actually want to talk I want to do a video to Black Americans about the reparations stuff, and I want to also talk more to my people. You know, 'cause there was the outcome of the reparations California, and so I've been getting some revelations about that in a very spiritual sense, very very spiritual. And I just want to have just a nice, deep, cathartic talk, you know, about that whole thing. But with Kanye, I'll end this out with saying Kanye, you know, you have the Sephardic, Moorish indigenous bloodline. It is a royal bloodline, very powerful bloodline, um, and so you're protected. You are certainly protected, and it makes me emotional sometimes. Again, certain people, Kanye West, Cat Williams. It's like as a clairvoyant, I don't have. I could just look into. I can kind of in brain and train these people with where I kind of just know what they feeling. Like I could see stuff, you know, around them spiritually. And so Kanye West is one of them people. Cat Williams is one of them people. Kyrie Irving. Uh, some women as well, but they're not. You know, they're not celebrities. You know, some women I could feel that they're just like more like YouTubers, but not even like big YouTubers. But some women. Um, let's see, Kanye West, Tariq Nasheed. Unfortunately, that I can just see is like so. I can like even know what he's thinking. Like it's kind of creepy. But certain people, Kanye West is definitely one of them people. And it is it's emotional sometimes because it's like I can I could feel this coming, you know, I could, it's like a clairvoyant thing. It's like a quantum entanglement, clairvoyant, you know, it's deep. You can see their past lives. You can see the codes in their DNA, their cosmic DNA, their cosmic energy. You can see all that shit. It's just clear as day, just like a wide open veil, a wide open portal of energy that you could see. And it just, you can't shut it off. If I try to shut it off or close it, I just can't. I don't know what the hell that's about. I don't know what that's about. I really don't know what that's about. Sometimes with Nipsey Hussle, that tried to happen the day before he died, and I had told God I didn't want that connection. Like I didn't want to be able to see all it into. But God did make it very clear to me the day before he died, that he was a part of the family as well. As far as this bloodline that I'm talking about, not every Black American is a part of that. You have imposters. You'll have people that will, you know, try to claim it, but it is a specific code. It's a cosmic code I'm talking about. It's cosmic, and you know, I think that's why it happens like that with certain people, because it's something cosmic going on. Because you have a galactic cosmic family, and now we're about to go all yeah, we're about to go all into the esoteric stuff, so bear with me. But you do have a galactic cosmic family, even though we are in our meat suit, even though we're in human flesh, and even though we may belong to the same tribe. You know, we may have a lineage of people within a group, but you're not cosmically related. And so I think that with certain energies on this planet, with certain humans on this planet, we share some sort of cosmic relation, some sort of quantum entanglement, brain entrainment. I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure all that out, but he's one of them people for me. And so that's why, if you wonder why you keep doing videos on Kanye West, you keep speaking up for Kanye West, is you on this payroll? I don't know this man from, you know, like, you know what I mean? Like we have never had a conversation. I do not know Kanye West, but like, for some reason, it's just like, you know, I don't get nothing out of defending him. I don't get nothing. It don't do me nothing. You know what I mean? But for whatever reason, it's a spiritual drawn. I just be drawn. Um, I don't know what that's about. I'm trying to figure it out. But the venues need to come through. These venues, y'all need to stop playing on his top. If he could sell out 20,000, 23,000 seats in 7 minutes, then these venues need to come knocking. All this blacklisting shit, or y'all mad or whatever, he's independent, y'all can't control him or whatever. Fuck that. Y'all need him. Here's the thing, y'all need us more than we need y'all. I hope y'all realize that one day. As whoever, and no matter what race you are, if you are a chosen one, if you are someone with the gifts and with the talent and with the influence, or with the potential to influence, or just with the gifts, this system needs you more than you need them. I wish celebrities understood that before they got into their stupid ass 360 deals. I bet you they wish I bet Prince wish he knew that beforehand, and Michael Jackson. They need us. We don't need them. And so they want us to feel beneath that. Everything is about, like he said, trauma, monetize. They want to monetize and traumatize. That's what he said. And he's right on that. This is a system that's built on monetize and traumatize. But for whatever reason, they can't monetize the gifts in a free sense where you're independent. They want you traumatized. They want you controlled and bent, groveling on their knees. That's why they do the MK Ultra and all that shit. And they're sacrificing all this stuff. They want you down, feeling bad about yourself. They want you to have very, very low self-esteem so they can control you more, or they want you on drugs and alcohol. And so they do want to monetize and traumatize. So with Kanye West, since he broke a lot of the Monarch programming, since he broke the contracts and freed himself in a lot of ways spiritually, still working on it, but in a lot of ways he has broke free out of their system. And so it's like, well, we let you in the fold, but we got to traumatize you again. We have to have that control. We have to figure out a way to get this control where you don't buck up, where you don't break your programming, where you don't, they can't control him anymore. He's not going to sit up there and take that dumbass medicine that is illegal, that is against galactic legalities regarding how you even diagnosed him. It's an illegal diagnosis, and it's a false diagnosis because it was based on when he started speaking the truth, when he started speaking out, you guys 5150 him. That's illegal. And so they can't just dump. They rather just dump all this medicine down and have him droned out. Then he can't, then he's no good, because then you can't really make the money, because he can't really perform if he's too drugged out of his mind. And so they at a crossroads of what they're gonna do with him. The thing is, you got to realize that once this whole system gets exposed for what it is, all that fucking talent, people gonna be figuring out a way to get that shit out. Just like with Hot Nigga with Bobby Shmurda when he released Hot Nigga, independent. Now, he foolishly signed with Epic, and you see what happened with that shortly after. Epic, he gets locked up for 8 years, and Epic continues to eat off his publishing. But imagine if he didn't do something like that. Imagine the next person that learns from that. Imagine the other people growing up. They're going to learn from that, and they're going to be like, when they go viral with their own little song that they don't record in a damn basement somewhere, or some video they don't record outside of the projects or some shit, they're not going to fall for the gallows anymore. They're not. They're going to know, like, no, I don't need to sign with a record label. I'm getting 40,000 a month off of a venue just performing on my own, independent. I'll keep doing that. Then what? There's not going to be appealing. That this whole thing that y'all got set up is not appealing to nobody. It's not to no talent, to a gifted motherfucker. And if that mean that they won't get the influence, or they won't get, we won't put our machine behind you and promote you, they go to sleep at night. This is a cosmic spiritual. This is a frequency. We live on a dimension of plane in this universe. So we very much aware that we are the real stars. And so even if they did say, well, your stuff would never see the light of day, your work would never see the light of day. I'm dealing with it. I've published 18 books independently. A great teacher. Like, I have theories and stuff that is like literally. I'm not bragging. This is what it is. It's 500 years at its time. It doesn't mean it's glory to God. I'm not trying to, be all in my ego and not, but I know what it's like for when you can't be controlled, how their system would do you, how they put a machine, or how they'll purposely blacklist your shit, shadow ban your shit, to where people, especially if you want to help other humans, right? And so my body of work is designed to help humans in ascension, help humanity, and then also to preserve culture, to preserve the culture of Black Americans, and to empower humans. And so that's automatically like, get out of here with that, And so I know what it's like. And so but for imagine like the other people that are artists, musicians, you know, um, if they can't feel like they can monetize and traumatize, well, traumatize first and then monetize. If they feel like they can't traumatize you, rather control you, and they don't have a mechanisms for control of your message and of your light, or if they can't harness it and eat off of it, then they blacklist you. And so that's what people are dealing with. But we know gifted people of all walks of life, whether you're gifted athletically, whether you're gifted with song, music, whether you're gifted with intelligence, looks, whatever. Um, we know that these gifts come. This is something that you can't buy. It's priceless. You can't sell it to other person. You can't let them eat off of it. You can't let them take it, swap it, switch. None of that. And at the end of the day, we go to bed knowing that we the goat in the spiritual realm. We the goat cosmically. And this is just but a transitory plane that, well, we're only in the meat suit, what, 80, 100 years? You might get lucky if you get 100 years in this bitch, in this one planet Earth, right? Like, you might get lucky. Some of you only get 50 years. And so it's transitory. And so you never want to put yourself in a situation where you are controlled, or where you are, um, you know, controlled and manipulated, deceived, traumatized, in exchange for your natural born gifts, you know? And so Kanye West, he was right to voice how that industry did him, to voice the unfairness in his contracts. He was right. He was absolutely right. And it's unfortunate that other people won't speak out. There's a lot of people that's pretty much slaves. Like Prince wrote on his face, slave. Elvis Presley. Have you ever looked at his Elvis Presley's contract and what he had to go through and what he had to deal with? That it was horrific, absolutely horrific. That's slavery. That's slavery. And so it's also illegal. Galactically, it's illegal what's being done down here on many levels. So um, my thing is, if he can't find these venues, you have to start pick smaller venues that rock with him, or do tent festivals. Do festivals that in a manner that's cost effective, where you can still perform. That's how I see it. And so I'll end it there, and I'm gonna take a break, and then I'll start back up.